In this video we will create a complete email automation tool. If an email comes through, we will first filter the email, and if the email can be answered by our AI tool will answer automatically. I make a generic example, but you can use this example for whatever you want. I have a YouTube channel, and in this YouTube channel I get some sponsor deals from time to time. Normally, like I say no, because I do not want to sell stuff to my audience that I personally do not use, but sometimes it can make sense. Until now I only accepted one single deal, and I got the deals all the time, so nearly every day I get a question for a sponsorship videos, and mostly I say no, and that's why I want to build out this automation. If I get sponsorship deals, I want to reply to the sponsorship deals completely automatically. And if my mails are not specific about sponsorships, I do not want to reply to these mails. So let's just start by press create workflow. We press plus, and the first thing that we need is, of course, as always, Google, or specifically the Gmail tool. I simply press on Gmail, and I want to have on message received, of course. So every time as soon as a new email comes here, this thing should get activated, should get triggered, and then we need to classify our email. We need to connect our Google account. Hopefully you know until now how to do this. And if not, watch one of the previous videos. Then the mode is every single minute, so this thing should work all day long for us. The event is of course on message received, and it should be simplified. So this is basically everything completely automatical. What I want to do right now is to press fetch test event. And right now my fetch test event comes through. So you see, this is the ID, the thread ID, then here the snippet. Hey AI, me or Arnie, so there's also a typo in this mail. I would like to offer a sponsorship deal and so on, and I just want to show you what this mail is all about. So here onto my Google account, this mail comes through right now at this minute because I have sent this mail to myself, so that I do not have any problems with mails that I show from sponsorship deals. So I simply sent this mail to myself with typos. This is just a generic example. Hey AI with Arnie, I just want to offer a sponsorship for your next YouTube video. Our product is perfect for you. We have an AI tool that can generate pictures. I offer €600 for a 60-second integration. Peter from Beat AI. That's basically this test event that I have fetched, and I want to work with this fetch test event right now, because we need to classify all of these. We only want to have emails that are from sponsorships in this automation. So you see this works. By the way, we could also do this not simplified and press fetch test event once again. And now you see we have all the details from this email as JSON, but also as schema, and maybe we need all of this information for further classification. So the next thing that we want to do is to press plus, because now we need our next node. Next node is our set node, so edit field set node, and here we can work with this data. The mode is manual mapping, and we can press on these right now. We give this a name. Let's just say email context. This is of course a string, and here on the value we can press on expressions, and we can make this big, and as soon as this is big we can simply map all of it manually. So let's just type in from, we can scroll down here, and also here you see from, it is from my other email account, and we can simply throw in this variable right here. Then we can take a new line. Then we type in subject, and we also find the subject here. Sponsor deal is the subject from this mail, and we take a new line. And lastly we want to have the email body, and we find the body of course also here. We have this content type, and we can use HTML or we can also use text. I think with text we save some tokens, so we simply use the text as our email body. And here you see everything. So the result is from, here this variable, this object is this variable, and then the email body is this right here. So we have everything included. So our set node is like set. Let's just press test step so that we get some data through this thing. So we have the email context, and there we have all. Now we go back. Let's just give this thing a name for a brief moment. Let's just call it sponsor reply, and we press save. As soon as we have our set field, of course we need to press plus, and we need to go on with our automation. We want to have advanced AI and we need the AI agent. Let's just close this down because first we always need the chat model. I like once again our OpenAI chat model. For this simple thing here, I think GPT-4 Omni Mini is perfect. And of course we have connected our credentials. So this thing is now set. Now we go on the AI agent. We use the tool agent. We need another user message, so we simply press on these and press on define below. We need the text, and it's of course the email context from the edit fields, so we can simply throw this in here. And now let's just make this actually big, so that we have a little bit more room here. I just want to make new lines and I insert this system prompt. So role. Your task is to determine whether an email is related to a sponsorship deal or not. Respond with JSON object containing the following fields. Is sponsorship can be either true or false. Reasoning, explain your answer. Think step by step about your response. We do not really need this, but I like to include it. So let's just leave it as it is. And we have, of course, here the JSON with the email context. So basically the AI will know that it needs to look in this specific information. So that's basically it. By the way, you can also do this differently if you want. You can simply use here the context trigger node and this as input and later use the system prompt to define this. But I think this saves us some token. This will make it more efficient. We need to toggle this thing on, require specific output format. If you toggle this on, you see that we can use an output parser later. We want to have JSON as the output, as we specify here in the prompt. If you close this down, you see that we have right now an output parser. The output parser is included here. If you toggle this off, once again, this output parser is no longer there. So simply toggle this thing on, and now we need an output parser. We simply press plus, and we need our structured output parser. So we press on these. And here you also see an example, but what I like to do is to press on define below, and now we can specify these, but this is really easy, it's really not that complicated. Under properties we do not have state, but we have is sponsorship, as we specified in the prompt. So you see, if we go on the prompt here, make it big, we have is sponsorship is either true or false, so you can also just copy these, is sponsorship, we come back to the output parser. It's not state, it's is sponsorship. The type is here not really a string, it's Boolean. Then the next thing, here we have the cities, but this is not true. We can come back into the prompt. We have reasoning, we can copy these, come back to the parser, insert here reasoning, and reasoning is of course a string. We do not have any items, so we can also delete this stuff here. So it's important that we delete also this last curly bracket and also this curly bracket with this thing also here with the items. And this thing will work as soon as we also delete this here. So we can simply delete it, also this. And now our syntax is correct. By the way, if you ever have problems with this code, simply copy this code, throw it into ChatGPT and say to ChatGPT that you need to specify this code in order to match your system prompt here. It's really that easy. Also ChatGPT can do this for you, and you can also just copy the stuff that I did in this video. So right now this thing is done. Let's just save it. We press on this AI agent node. And what I want to do is right now to press test step. We should, in theory at least, get the value true out of this. So test step. So we have the output is sponsorship is true, and the reasoning, the email explicitly mentioned an offer for a sponsorship related to a YouTube video, inducting a financial and so on. So you see, this is of course a YouTube sponsorship, so it's true. And the reasoning behind it is because, like the AI tells us, we get offered some money for a YouTube integration. It's really that easy. So our classification tool works perfectly. Let's just make this a little bit less messy. There we go. What I want to do right now is, I want to test if we also get a false response if I get like another email here. In order to test this out, I simply go into another email account and I do something like this. I write myself, I love you. Hey Arnie, wanted to tell you that I love you, Arnie. And we can send this out. My newest mail is right now, of course, that I love myself. And if I come back into this workflow and press test workflow, we should fetch my newest email. So everything should come through. Let's just see. Here on schema, we can scroll down. The mail subject is I love you. This right here is the text content. On our next node, we get our email context. On our next node, so the AI agent, we get our classification. So this is of course no sponsorship. And the reasoning is, this email is a personal message expressing affection with no mention of sponsoring or a business arrangement. So this works. And right now we need to go on, of course. So what we want to do right now is, of course, the sponsorship deals, we need to classify them, we need to map them, and on the sponsorship deals we want to answer immediately. If something is not a sponsorship, we do not want to answer it. So what we do right now is we use the if node, so we press on the if node. Let's just come to JSON, and right now you see value 1 equals to value 2, and you see here if sponsorship, we can simply throw this in value 1. Not really equals to, we have used previously boolean, and if the boolean is true, we want to do something. So right now we can press test step, and we have of course no data, because in this example sponsorship is false. So we can go back here, and you see here we have the true path and the false path. Right now the false path is of course triggered. Let's just do this again, test workflow. We go through this, and right now we are on the false path, and now I want to show you what happens if we get something that is true. Hey Arnie wanted to sponsor a video. I sent this to my other email account, then we come back to N8N and press test workflow. Everything comes through. Our edit node uses the email context. Our AI decides that sponsorship is true. And the if node is decided that sponsorship is true, so it is right now of course in the true path. And now we can use the true and the false path in order to work with our data. So if the output is false, if we do not get any sponsor deals, we do not want to have any action. So we simply press no or search for no. And you find this right here, no operation, do nothing, and we want to include this. So if this is not a sponsorship deal, we will simply do nothing with this workflow. And if it's a sponsor deal, we can press plus and we go on. You could use the advanced AI with another AI agent, but you can also just search for OpenAI, and we can also use just message a model. This is fine. We need to connect our OpenAI credentials. The resources is text, the operation is message a model. The model, let's just use GPT-4o mini, because this is cheap and this works for us. So GPT-4o mini. Then down here we have the message, text and the role user. What I like to do is to use a system prompt here. And this system prompt, we want to make this via expression. We make it big. And now we can include a nice little system prompt. I use something like this. Role, you work for a YouTube channel called AI mit Arnie. It's German AI with Arnie in English. Your task is to respond to sponsorship inquiries by drafting a reply email. Task: carefully review the email context below and write a friendly and professional email. Return only the email body in HTML format. Do not include header, only the body. The email should include details about sponsorship costs and conditions. Here are the conditions, sponsorship terms of the YouTube channel AI mit Arnie. And remember, this is always marked down here. Channel overview, here is the channel name, AI mit Arnie. The subscribers actually is 15,000 right now. The average views per video, 2,000 between 10,000. We can also bump this up, it's actually a bit higher. Content focus, artificial intelligence. Sponsorship pricing, standalone video, 800 to 1,300 euros. Integrated sponsorship mentions for 60 seconds, it's 600 euros. Additional info, AI mit Arnie only accepts sponsorships that make sense for its target audience. In general, the channel rejects anything that does not provide real value to viewers and does not promote products that the creator does not personally use. This is, at least in my mind, the most important stuff. I would never ever promote stuff on my YouTube channel that I do not personally use. So this is important, and if people really want to have a sponsorship, like make sure that it makes sense. I got a sponsorship deal from Hostinger and from Think Diffusion. These are two things that I am using myself from time to time. This is something that I would consider, but all the bull, yeah, let's just leave it how it is. I don't name any of these companies. So our system prompt is right now set. Now I want to add another message. This time we use user as role, and here we have the text. We can go on expression and make it big. Everything that we need is the email context, so that the AI knows on what specific context it should answer. And we find the email context, of course, in the edit fields and the email context. So we throw this email context in here, and then we are basically done with this thing here. And by the way, once again, if you make this big, you always see here the email body. Hey Arnie wanted to sponsor a video, so this was just this stupid example from previous. You can also press on this step and see how the AI responds to this generic small message here that we got. Let's just press on table. Here we see it, so everything is included, how I am priced and so on. So you can see this should absolutely work. And what we want to have is, of course, that this thing does the answer automatically. So we press plus once again. We search, let's just say, our Gmail tool. We need reply to a message. We have our credentials. The resource is message. The operation is reply. Now we need the message ID, the email type, and the message, of course. So we press on schema. And if we scroll down, we find under the Gmail trigger the ID. So we throw the ID in here. That's it. And email type is correct. The message is right now, of course, the content, so we can scroll up. You see it right here. The content is this thing, and this format is, of course, HTML. So we leave this at HTML and throw the content in here. We can also press test step and see if this mail got sent or not. The mail got sent. And if I come back into my other email account, I get my answer here. And the answer to my mail is, of course, so hey Arnie wanted to sponsor a video. This was the email that I sent it to myself. And I am telling to myself back again, hey Arnold, thank you for reaching out about sponsoring a video on AI with Arnie. I'm excited to hear that you're interested in working together. Before we process, I would like to provide you some details and so on. Here's the pricing. We're committed to maintaining the integrity of our channel, which focuses on artificial intelligence, and we only partner with sponsors whose product align with the audience's interests. We aim to feature only tools that provide real value and that I personally endorse. If you could share a bit more information about your product and how you envision the sponsorship, that would be great. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. So we have a perfect reply, a professional reply. I think this automation is great. And by the way, if this thing is too tricky for you, if you do not want to rely on AI too much, you can press on these. Here on resources, you can also change this. If you do not want to have this as message, you can also save it as a draft. So you can simply save it as a draft if you do not want that the AI sends these emails automatically for you. So you have saved them into a draft, and then you can look for yourself and simply press send if you think it makes sense. And if you think it does not make sense, you simply can rewrite it yourself. But for the sake of this tutorial, this is a perfect automation, at least for me. So we press save, and I think this is fine. But remember, if you do not want that this tool can send emails for you, just simply leave them as a draft, so you can simply send or press the send button yourself. What I want to do is right now to send this to active, so that this thing listens to my email inbox every single minute. And right now we want to see if these things process the stuff correctly, if things come through. So I simply come back to this email account and I write myself an email. This time I simply start with the subject line of Hey Arnie, I love your course, and I simply send this out. So I press send. As soon as this thing gets sent, I need to wait until I get my mail, and then we need to wait at maximum for 1 minute, because every single minute this thing will work for us, and then we will find on executions if this data comes through or not. So I come on executions and we wait until my thing comes through. And here you see that this thing gets executed, and it looks like that everything has worked. The Gmail trigger gets triggered, the edit fields got triggered, our AI agent gets triggered, and the if node decided that this is of course no sponsorship. So this completely works, so nothing happened here. In the editor you will not see this. And right now I want to make a similar example, but this time with a sponsorship, so that we see that the execution will also work for our sponsorships. So we come back here, we press on write, I write myself an email, sponsor, hey Arnie, I wanted to sponsor a video. I sell green pencils for women over 60. Best Mark. Let's just send this out. I got my email query here. We come back to n8n, we go on executions, and let's just see, this thing gets executed nearly immediately, so I can press on it. And here we see, let's just see, yes, it got triggered correctly. So you see, Gmail got triggered, edit fields got triggered, our AI agent gets triggered, the if node gets triggered, the if node decided that this is indeed a sponsorship, so our OpenAI model drafts an email and sends it immediately back. And if I come back to this email account, I get my answer, I can click on it, and you see, here this was the question, hey Arnie, I wanted to sponsor a video, and so on. And here we have the reply, hey Mark, thank you for reaching out, and so on, here are the prices. And of course we need to have more information. Congratulations, you have an AI automation working that makes sense. This AI automation can save you some time. At least it can save some time for me. You can also save these as drafts, and it was relatively easy to create. I want to show you once again what we did. We start with the Gmail trigger. We leave it on every minute. Message received, of course. We go on in the edit fields. We just simply want to have from, subject and the email body, so that we can get nice data. Then our AI agent tool, we need to have here a good system prompt, and we simply tell that this is the context, and here from this content we want to have if this is a sponsorship, is it true or false, and the reasoning behind it, and this is of course the context. As soon as we have this, we need to have the structured output parser, OpenAI chat model, then the if node, and the if node will decide if this is a sponsorship or not. So if it's true, it will get parsed in the true path, and the true path will simply use our OpenAI node to make a good answer back. And then it will send it automatically in our Gmail account. And you can also save this as draft if you do not trust this thing fully. And if it's not true, nothing will happen. So it's relatively easy to create, and you can of course make this specific for you, for your business, for other business applications. This thing can help.